Hello, good morning, everyone. So, today I am going to discuss the production technology of coffee. Actually, the coffee is not a mandatory part of our state, but even then, we should know about the production technology of coffee. Comes under the plantation crop, and so we will discuss about the taxonomy, what are the botanical structure, chromosome number, production technology, origin, all we will discuss in this class one by one, everything. So coffee, generally there are two species of coffee which are cultivated uh, on commercial scale. These are the Coffea arabica and Coffea canephora. These both species are commercially grown. And Coffea arabica, which is considered known as the arabica coffee, and other one is the Coffea canephora. It is known as a robusta. There are some difference in these two species of the coffee. Coffea arabica is self-fertile, or you can say that the self-pollinated and allotetraploid. It is tetraploid in nature. Plants are small, juicy, with heavy branching and dark green leaves, white flowers, and it takes 8 to 9 months for berry development. On the other hand, Robusta coffee, which is Coffea canephora, is cross-pollinated. It is diploid. Plants are very big in size as compared to the Coffea arabica, and leaves are large, and it takes little bit more period for maturity. Is the 10 to 11 months for the berry development. So coffee belongs to family Rubiaceae, and both the species have been originated from the different places. Arabica coffee originated from Ethiopia, and word coffee come from the place from where it has been originated in Ethiopia, and the place is the Kaffa. In the name of Kaffa, coffee has been originated, and there it is grown at the 1400 to 1800 feet elevation, feet of elevation. Robusta coffee is known to be originated in Central America. This is the Congo and Zaire region. Both have been evolved in the African country. One is Ethiopia and other is the Congo and Zaire region. So these two species are cultivated at the commercial scale. So come about the botany. One more species, that is the Caffea laberica, is also commercial is grown at commercial scale, but this species is grown at a very small area. So three species: the Coffea arabica, this is arabica coffee; Caffea canephora, robusta coffee; and Caffea laberia, tree coffee, is grown at commercial scale. So here you can say the difference between the arabica coffee and robusta coffee. The ploidy level, as we have discussed earlier also, Arabica coffee has the ploidy level that it is tetraploid, and Robusta coffee is the diploid. 2n is equal to 44, and 2n is basic chromosome number is 11, 4x is equal to 44 of tetraploid, and 2n is equal to tetraploid. As adaptability, Arabica coffee is grown at the higher elevation, the 1000 meter to 1500 meter, and Robusta coffee is grown commercially at comparatively lower elevation. There is a 500 to 1000 meters one. Plant of the Arabica coffee is small, juicy, and very number of branches more. And whereas the Robusta plant of the Robusta is bigger tree size, bigger and like tree. So number of days for the blossom tree after the receipt of the actually there is a blossom rain after which the bud of the coffee opens. So for opening of the bud after the blossom, Arabica coffee takes 9 to 10 days, whereas the Robusta coffee takes only 7 days. And in Arabica coffee, there are 10 to 12 buds and berries per nuts. but size of the individual berry is bigger. Whereas the Robusta coffee, number of the berries per node is higher, it is 40 to 60, but the size of the berry is smaller as compared to the Arabica coffee. And as we have discussed earlier regarding the fruit development period, Arabica coffee develops its fruit after the set. It takes about 8 to 9 months, whereas the Robusta coffee takes 10 to 11 months after setting of the fruit. Root systems is the Arabica plants of the Arabica coffee is comparatively small. That's why the root system is small, but it is deep. It goes up to the deep. Whereas Robusta coffee um, tree, it is a larger tree. That's why the root system is large, deep, large, but it is the shallow. Pollination is a self fertile or self pollinated, and Robusta coffee is self sterile. That's why cross pollination is the rule of the Robusta coffee. Root system, as we study, is the small but deep. Pollination and fertilizer, self pollination and self fertilization. Here we can see that that is the plant of the Robusta coffee. You can see here that the number of the pods, number of the berries in the one node is very high, and as we know that the number of the berry in Robusta coffee may be up to 40 to 80. So, but the size of the berry is small in case of the Robusta coffee as compared to the Arabica coffee. Now come to the introduction of the coffee in India, how, when and how it is introduced in the coffee. As per the Arabica coffee is concerned, it was introduced in 1670 by a Muslim pilgrim named Baba Buddha, and he brought the 7 seeds from the Yemen and cultivated in the Chikmagalur area of the Karnataka. And this is the type of the Mocha seed. And other species, Robusta coffee, introduced in India little later on the Indo-China region at the end of the 19th century. And it was usually, Robusta coffee was usually planted at the lower elevation. Coffee is susceptible to frost and hence distributed inhibited by the temperature. Actually, the coffee is not cannot tolerate the low temperature. It is very susceptible to frost. Thus, thereby, this is not cultivated in the area where the frost occurs. And this the frost susceptibility of the frost limits the cultivation and limits the area of the cultivation. The world, that's why the in the world it is cultivated between the 25-degree north to 25-degree south latitude, and mainly it is grown in the developing countries, but the consumption of coffee mainly is the developed country. Brazil is the leading country with 20 or the more than 20% of the area under the coffee cultivation, and India ranks 8th position in the world in the area, and produces the 3% of the world coffee production. In India, almost Arabica coffee and Robusta coffee almost grown in the equal amount, and this is considered that it is estimated that the Arabica coffee is grown in the 49% of the area, while the Robusta coffee is grown in the 50% of the area in India. And as per the productivity of the concern, the productivity of the Arabica coffee is little bit less, since the plant size is less, but number of the berry per nodes is little bit less. That's why productivity of the Arabica coffee is less, which is 1815 kg per hectare, as compared to the Robusta coffee, which is 1065 kg collected in India, and that's why the average productivity is 946 kg per hectare. There are the difference between climatic adaptability of the both the Arabica coffee and Robusta coffee, and Arabica coffee elevation and Arabica coffee can be grown with the higher elevation as compared to the Robusta coffee, and elevation is maybe up to the 1,000 to 200 mean sea level for the Arabica coffee, and whereas the Robusta coffee is less. And annual rainfall also requires little bit high for Arabica coffee as compared to the Robusta coffee. There are the blossom rain requires in coffee production. About the blossom rain and backing rain, we will study later. And shade requirement, as per the shade requirement, shade is required for coffee and tea cultivation, and the Arabica coffee light shade is required, and Robusta coffee uniform thin shade is required. Temperature, average temperature required for Arabica coffee is little less as compared to the Robusta coffee. For temperature requirement for the Arabica coffee is 3 to 25 degrees centigrade, whereas for Robusta coffee it is little higher, it is 20 to 30 degrees centigrade. Actually, since this Arabica coffee is cultivated at higher elevation, and the temperature is, that's why the temperature is a little bit lower as compared to the roaster coffee, which is grown in the lower elevation with comparatively high temperature. Both requires the high relativity, the 70 to 80% RH is required for the Arabica coffee, 80 to 90% required in the Robusta coffee. As per the soil and soil is concerned, both require the deep friable porous soil, which is rich in organic matter and have the good potential of the moisture retentivity, and soil should be acidic in nature. Almost all plantation crop requires acidic soil, and the soil pH, ideal pH of the soil is 6 to 6.5. So this is all about the climatic difference between the two species, that is the Arabica coffee and Robusta coffee. And now come about the flower. It is the very important aspects of coffee. Coffee is mainly grown in the South India because it is susceptible to frost, and South India there is no much winter and frost is not occurring in the South India. Rainfall is comparatively high, and moisture humidity level is comparatively high as compared to the northern area. That's why the most of the coffee area is restricted in the South India, and mostly in the Karnataka, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala. These areas the coffee cultivation is restricted. In South India, actually flower initiation takes place from September to March. September to March, and after November onwards till March, in South India there is the dry period. There is a very little or no rainfall, temperature is comparatively high, and flowering starts in the month of the September, October, and afterwards growth of the flower or bud is stopped due to the high temperature, and plants grows under the dormancy due to the onset of the drought along with the high temperature. So, and after that, after March onwards, there is shower, little bit shower, rain, which is very essential for coffee to initiate the blossom, to initiate the opening of the bud that have start to appear well before September, October, or November. So during this dormancy period, there is a no vegetative growth, and immediately if the blossoms or growth of the plant starts, and flower buds starts reopen. Then blooms starts in the coffee following the rain, and after the rain again there is the after some period there is the again some little rainfall. This is called backing shower. So these two showers are very essential for opening of the flower and to initiate the fruit set. What is the advantage of this? The shower. So if there will be no dormancy and no shower, flowering will be continuous from September to March, and due to the continuous and flowering in plant, fruits will mature at different time, and it will be very difficult to harvest the pods at the same time. After the blossom shower, plants, full complete plants uh, come into the flowering within 7 to 10 days of this the blossom flower. So this imposed dormancy is necessary event as it enables the single harvest. Otherwise, coffee will be blooming throughout the year, resulting in the staggered farming and with the increased cost of it. Coffee fruit is considered as a group and normally contains two seeds. Sometimes what happens, one portion of the seed will get non-fertilized and single-seeded berry develops. The size of the berry becomes very small. This size of the berry is called pre-berry. Sometimes three or more seeds present subject to the trilocular ovary, and false polyploidy. It fused with one another, and the size of the berry becomes very large. This berry is called the elephant berry. Smaller size of the berry, which is smaller than the normal, is called pre-berry, and size of the berry which become larger than the normal size is called the elephant berry. And elephant berry is due to the formation of the fusion of the more than two ovaries, that is the three ovaries, and that's why the berry size becomes large. So rainfall for coffee cultivation is very essential. It should be well distributed rainfall and from December to the with dry period from the December to the March. The summer shower is very important for the coffee production because this summer shower, yeah, or spring shower, you can say, promotes the flowering and uniform flowering, promotes the uniform flowering, one-time flowering in coffee. Coffee is shallow-rooted plant and can be exploited the soil moisture from people cannot exploit the soil from deeper subsoil and food development. Backing shower is suggested. After the summer shower, backing shower is essential for development of the good food. There are so many varieties now come to the variety of the coffee. There are so many varieties of coffee. Almost all Arabica coffee has been developed from the selection, advanced selection of the leaf resistance has been done with a higher productivity and the improved better quality. Selection 795 is a cross between 7 to selection 288 in the Kent, and almost 70% of the Arabica coffee is grown with this variety. This variety dominates is a Arabica variety, and this variety is dominates under the cultivation. About the 70% of the total cultivation is done by the this selection 795. There are so many varieties 795. This is a cross between selection 288 and the can, and is resistant to the leaf rust resistant. Similarly, Sin 7 it is a Saint Roman short internode Arabica varieties and spotted in the Costa Rica, dwarf in nature. Selection 18, it is a spontaneous hybrid of Robusta into Arabica, and spotted in the Portuguese, Portuguese in the Timor Island, East Timor Island. There are other variety also. There's Sin 19, Sin 10, 10. All are the hybrid variety with have some drought hardy suitable for different coffee zones. These are the Sin 19, Sin 10. So there are so many developed variety of the coffee which are under cultivation. Now, talk about the propagation of um, coffee. So, coffee is Arabica coffee is propagated by seed because it is self-pollinated and it is maintained due to self-pollinated and self-compatible. That's why there will be no differentiation among the seeds when we produce the plants by the seed because it is self-pollinated and plant produced by the seed will be similar to the mother plant. So Arabica coffee is propagated by seed, and how we prepare the seedling. So first of all, we collect the coffee seed and we put into the water. The some seeds which floats, we discard that seeds, and uh, remaining seed that dip down in the water, goes down into the water, we collect those seeds for sowing. And among those seeds, the seeds which are very large, that is the elephant seed, should be avoided or avoided, and then these seeds are which are cut, triangular in shapes, damaged, should be discarded. And then the seeds are sown on a nursery bed. Nursery bed should be raised to 50 centimeter height and 1 meter width, and as per our convenience, length should be um, kept. A well rotten 30 to 40 kg of well rotten compost, 2 kg of agricultural lime, and 400 gram of the rock phosphate is added on the bed of the size 1 meter into 6 meter. A heavy soil should be added with the coarse sand or drainage, proper drainage and irrigation should be done on the nursery bed. Sowing is done in the December to January at the distance of the 1.5 to 2.5 centimeter apart, and seed germinate in about 45 days. When we sow the seed germinate in 45 days, and after 45 days, uh, after 45 days, when it become about the 5 to 6 inch, it is again transferred into the secondary nursery bed or a polygon. After when it becomes 1 year old, then we go for the plant. So now come about the planting distance. Arabica coffee, which are taller in size. There is variation, maybe in the plant size of the Arabica coffee and the Western coffee. The Arabica coffee variety, which are taller in size, is planted at a distance of 6 feet or 6 feet to 7 feet, and which are dwarf in size, it is planted as the 5 feet. Since Robusta plant is the higher, larger in size, it is planted at the wider distance, 10 feet into 10 feet. Similarly, Robusta coffee is planted at the 8 feet to 8 feet distance, which are 8 feet to 8 feet into 12 feet distance. So, planting material selection for the planting, as we have studied that some varieties, some species are propagated by seed or vegetative propagation. The seedling for the seed propagation, very should be how we prepare the seed for the sowing. So first we select the ripe berry, and pulp is removed from the berry, and seed is taken out. Bean is taken out. The the bean which is floats in the water is discarded. Defective beans should be discarded, and seed treatment is done with the fungicide, and seed is dried under the shade. After shedding, after these dry seeds are used for the propagation. For vegetative propagation, there are two methods used in the vegetative propagation in the coffee: cutting and grafting. Cutting should be taken from the vertical shoot, and semi-hardwood cutting is used for the propagation of coffee. It should be the age of the shoot should be the 6 months, 3 to 6 months old, and very tender shoot should be discarded, and over mature shoot should also be discarded. So the sheet, the semi-hard wood stem is selected for the cutting. Coffee, after the planting, the coffee required some shade management. It do not require the direct and scorching sun. Initial stage, we there are two types of the shade material is used, and for the sun to be shade, and which have the lower tree canopy, and For permanent set, large tree sizes, tree species is taken for the permanent seeding. So initial stage, the plant for temporary set is taken, and the plant selection should be like that, that the plant should have the faster growth habit. Like Erythrina and Grevillea is taken for the temporary shed, and it is planted at the 6 meter to 8 meter distance. And for permanent shading, tree species like nutmeg, clove, cinnamon, etc. are um, taken for the permanent shading, and spacing is the 12 meter to 14 meter. So, purpose of the shade management is to get the filtered light. As coffee do not survive well under the direct sunlight, it requires the filtered light. By providing shading, we provide the coffee the filtered light. Now, pruning of coffee. Purpose of the pruning in coffee is, as the principles of the pruning says, it is done in the coffee also to encourage new growth, so that maximum branch can be taken for maximum production of the dairy from single coffee plants. Yield regulation, management of the pest and disease, management of the shape. These are the main purpose of the pruning. So pruning in coffee is done in the this purpose in the coffee also. So there are different types of pruning done in the coffee. It may be the light pruning, medium pruning, and severe pruning. Light pruning is done in the regular interval, and time of the pruning of light pruning is the immediately after harvest. In light pruning, we prune the plant which are damaged, diseased, dried after the harvest. And in the light pruning, we remove the old branches, unproductive branches, disease branches, mean and lanky branches. These disease based suckers, branch that touch the ground, we should be removed immediately after harvest. In the severe pruning, it is done once in the 4 or 5 years to replace the laterals, to encourage the new shoots, main shoots, or for the rejuvenation purpose. So, in coffee, there are three types of pruning: light pruning, medium pruning, and heavy or severe pruning. And purpose of the of both the all the three pruning are different. Light pruning is done annually, medium pruning is done after 2 years, and severe pruning is done after 4 to 5 years. Now, come to the nutritional management of coffee. Coffee requires the or- organic rich soil, but fertilizer is also inorganic fertilizer is also required for the high yield in the production of coffee. And the fertilizer application is done in coffee in three stages: it is the pre-blossom, post-blossom, and post-blossom. So blossom takes place during the March or April. So 1 year branches is this is the eight first year 8 gram 9 gram is this is the fertilizer requirement of the coffee. First year, second year, third year, different all the 3 years there are different dose of the fertilizer. And the harvesting is done in the coffee when they become ripe and get better. The comes of the harvesting 8 to 9 months, and fruitability will start takes 10 to 10 months. Picking is done by hand, And first picking consists of the selective picking. Ripe berries often seen in the outer portion of the called the fly picking. Thereafter, there will be the 4 to 6 picking up to 10 digit. Stripping is done in the remaining to remove the berry in the last harvesting. Harvesting time of the Arabica coffee is November to January and Robusta coffee is December to February. Average yield is Robusta coffee. We have studied their irrigated conditions is up to the 1200 kg per hectare. Irrigated condition may go to the 500, 5000 kg per hectare. So, processing of the coffee is processed in 2 ways. Wet processing for the parchment coffee and dry method is the cherry coffee. And parchment coffee is mostly comes from the Arabica coffee. There are steps. The ideally mature fruits is taken, pulping is done, to harvest to avoid fermentation. It is sieved and pulp is demustillation allowed to fermentation to go to the discharge of Arabica coffee, and 48 to 72 hours for the robusta coffee. It is treated with the alkali with the 10% of caustic soda, and then this brittle bean are taken out and soaked in water for 15 to 24 hours, washed, sun dried, and heat for 7 to 8 days to reduce the moisture. After that, when the moisture becomes low and the brittle sound is come, packing it done, and storage is done. And for the cherry coffee, dry method is used. It is mostly done from the robusta coffee, and collection ripe coffee is collected in this method. Sorting is done, and after removing the seed, it is directly dried for 10 to 12 days till the beans produce the rattling sound, and after the proper drying, it is stored. So these are the methods of the production technology of the coffee. Regarding the pest management, coffee berry borer is the one of the important diseases of the pest, and there is no other very only one severe pest is in coffee, and that's all about the production technology of the coffee. So,